Hello, Steve White, Steve Arts 89. Well, I was really shocked when McFarlane lost the DC license and it went back to Mattel. I was really enjoying starting to collect the McFarlane figures and the McFarlane line, and I was sort of enjoying sort of discovering this whole era that had been going for a few years, because I didn't really collect superhero figures. I had a couple of the Kenner figures when I was a kid, and I got the Toy Biz ones after 1990 they were doing Toy Biz, were doing DC for a while, and then I sort of just moved into other collecting as I grew up, and I never really went back to them. Like I went back to Transformers and Ghostbusters and Thundercats and all those, but I didn't really go back to the superheroes, not really, because I sort of saw them as individual figures and movies and TV series, not like a line like the Transformers or Master Universe or something like that. So I really wanted figures when the movies came out, but when I went to the store, all they had were these cheap, nasty little kiddie figures. Like they were just not the likenesses of the actors. The costumes were sort of based on the movie ones, but not exactly like them, and they just looked kind of cheap. And it was just really clear they were just making these for kids. They'd usually be packaged with these really random weapons that had nothing to do with the movies or anything, and I'm just like, no, I passed on all of them originally. I didn't buy any of them. It was really disappointing because I went to the movie, I'm like, I want to take that figure home, I want to have those, and there didn't seem to be anyone making them at that time. Now, one of the first things that I discovered was I found actually the Nika Batman and 89 and 66, and also found the 77 Wonder Woman. This one is actually from Mattel. I think it's the DC Multiverse signature line, and they made a couple of these, but this is sort of the only one I wanted, and that was sort of it from Mattel. It's like they made one figure I thought was beautiful or wonderful, and I bought that, and that was sort of it. There wasn't really anything else they were doing. They also did some smaller figures in the same line. They did I got a little Batman 89 and Superman 78 from the like the little film accurate ones, but they're so tiny. They're smaller than the Kenner Superpowers figures, and I just got them because they were screen accurate, and it's like that's the only thing I could have, the only thing I could find. And aside from that, the only other thing they had was Mattel did do the Batman 66 line, and I was just excited to have a Batman 66 figure, but I wasn't really impressed with it, really, because he's skinny. All the figures are really skinny, and Batman, the Adam West Batman, gets a really bad. They do him dirty all the time, because he was just an average fit guy in like a grey, costume with satin, briefs and a satin cape and just this grey bodysuit, and he didn't have padding or shading or anything. It was just him. It was an average fit guy. He looked good, but they always make him really skinny or really fat or something. It's like, and this one's really skinny. I just didn't really like them. I got it just because it was the only one there was, and I got a little free pack of Batman, Robin, and Batgirl, and I didn't get any of the villains because I didn't like them, and I debated getting them for years. I'm like, nah, they're just nah. And then they started to get really expensive on eBay, and I just gave up. And then I found McFarlane, and I was like, oh my god, I really like these. He's doing the 66 ones. I got Joker, I got Riddler, I got the Penguin, I got both Catwomen, Eartha Kitt, and Julie Newmar screen likenesses, accurate and everything, and Mr. Freeze, and I still have to get Egghead and that, but I really started collecting these, and I loved them. And I'm like, this is great. I really love these. And what I ended up doing was I bought the McFarlane vehicles, and I put the characters from the Mattel free pack, Batman, Robin, and Batgirl. I put Batman and Robin in the Batmobile, the McFarlane Batmobile, and the McFarlane Bat Cycle, because I don't think Mattel did one. I put the Batgirl on that. So that's how I sort of have my McFarlane collection, 6-inch collection, and then I have my Mattel figures, sort of manning the McFarlane vehicles. But yeah, I just wasn't really into the Mattel ones. I didn't really realize how bad they were until I looked back at them, because I started collecting the McFarlane ones, and one of the main complaints was that he did switch from 6-inch to 7-inch figures, and people who were collecting 6-inch figures were upset, of course. But then eventually he started making 6-inch figures, he started making ones like the Batman 66 line, which is based on the comic, which is based on the TV series. And even though, for example, his Superman and Wonder Woman aren't the likenesses of the actors, they're still much nicer figures than these. I really was not impressed with the Mattel figures. So, you know, I'd rather have these over those any day. So yeah, and then of course the other thing which was amazing was, like I said, I had some of the Kenner figures when I was a kid, and then the Toy Biz one sort of did them, but not quite as well. McFarlane came out and did a Superpowers line, and like this Batman is, you know, it's like, it has to be one of the most beautiful things in creation. I mean, look at that. It is this, you know, the blue Batman from the Superpowers series, but with the added little black detail on the face. And it's like they recreated it and improved it, and it's beautiful. Now the Superman's pretty good as well, but the face isn't, you know, they're not really trying to match the Superpowers toy. I really wish they'd do one like that, because they've done different variations of the Flasher one and the New 52 and the general sort of Superman figure and all that. And I just like them to do, they've got a new body now, I just like them to do you know, recreate the actual toy face. I know that someone did 6-inch ones, but I'd like those ones. And that's kind of it. Like, I was just really enjoying collecting these, like the Superman, the Henry Cavill one. I mean, I had to chase it for a bit, because at first they did him as plastic cape, and I didn't like that. Then they did a custom cape for Target, and it looked awful, and I didn't get that. And then they released him as a 2-pack with Doomsday or whatever, and I had to wait for someone to sell it separately, and annoyingly I waited too long. Someone was selling one in Tasmania, which of course is local to me, and I sat on it because I wasn't 100% sure about the cape, because it doesn't fit 100% accurate. It should be lower here, and the plastic one does look accurate, but it's plastic. So I was debating that, and someone bought it. So I ended up getting one from America for $15 more, and had to wait 2 weeks for it to arrive, where I could have had a local one for less, like within a day or two. So, but either way, I was collecting them again, and I was excited about collecting them again, and I was happy to collect them again, and I hadn't been collecting superheroes really ever. So then when I heard that McFarlane was losing the license to Mattel, I was like, oh damn. I thought, no, Mattel will, you know, because I have, you know, sentimental feelings towards Mattel, because obviously, you know, they did Barbie and He-Man, and I had started collecting the He-Man Origins line. But then, see, there's sort of the issues, the way that they just start contracts, it's like all corporate, it's not thinking about the collector. It's like, oh, we don't care that you've started a line and people are collecting it and they want to see it finished, they want all the characters done. This is where your license ends, and we want to give it to someone else, and that's it, you're done. And that was really exemplified in Master Universe. Mattel didn't know what to do with He-Man, and Super 7 said, well, we want to do a bunch of Filmation style 5.5 inch 6 points of articulation figures like the original figures, but the animated characters, animated versions. And they started doing them, and I loved them. I saw them just as after they were cancelled. I discovered them, and I bought them all up, but they only did so many because Mattel saw they were doing well, and they're like, well, why don't we just take the license back and produce our own ones? So they cut the license off, and they didn't get to characters I really wanted to see, like Adora or Scorpia, and characters like that I really wanted to see. So I was really upset that I only got that far with them. And then Origins came out. I loved Origin, but Origins didn't do Filmation. Now they're doing the cartoon collection. Now they're doing these characters over again. But I still want, because I like the cartoon collection ones, I like the Origin style, the modern ones, but I also like the originals, and I'd like to see some of those Filmation characters done in that original style. And people are doing Thundercats that way, and Mattel did just announce that they're doing a 2-pack He-Man and Skeletor going back to the 6 points of articulation. Maybe we'll get some of the, you know, original characters in, you know, new 5.5 inch 6 points of articulation style figures like the original characters. Maybe we'll get, you know, a Catra to go with our Super 7 She-Ra. I mean, why not? They did, you know, some of the classics. They did a good job with the classics for years, and then some of the classics, the ones they did only in the classic line, ended up in the Origins line. So I don't know. I'm kind of hopeful, but at the same time, I don't know, it's weird. Like, I have no faith in Marvel handling DC, and I have a little bit more faith in them handling He-Man, because they've sort of had 5 years of sort of trial and error, and they're sort of doing well. But I don't know how long it's going to be until we're getting, because I heard Mattel's line towards the end was actually better, but I just saw a few figures and bowed out and wasn't interested. But yeah, I'm going to go. Feel free to share, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think of the current situation with, you know, Mattel having the rights and McFarlane, you know, sort of rounding things up, and how that's going to go and what we're going to get, and I don't know, you know, what we're going to have long term. But I kind of feel like my little you know, period of collecting superheroes is kind of done now. It was fun, but I would have liked it to have gone on, you know, been longer.